Live, local, late breaking. This is WNBF News at 7.
Good evening to you. Thanks for being with us for your news at 7. I'm Eric Weisfeld. Our top story tonight, some businesses say Governor Henry McMaster is a bit too quiet about his last call order for bars and restaurants. This comes after McMaster declined to provide an update on when the 11 at night ban of alcohol sales would end. WNBF News reporter Jennifer Roberts joins us outside of Foster's Cafe and Bar in Myrtle Beach. So Jennifer, why is the owner speaking out on this issue today?
Eric, the owner told me they're fully prepared to welcome new visitors inside of their restaurant by putting up signs right here on this front door, alerting people to the safety procedures that are being followed inside of the restaurant. The owner told me it's hard to attract new customers due to one of the governor's restrictions. Take a look at this video. The gentleman in the orange shirt is Donald Fonda. He's the owner of Foster's Cafe and Bar. He spoke during Governor Henry McMaster's event at the International Culinary Institute of Myrtle Beach on Friday. Fonda told McMaster since the last call order went into effect in July, he's seen a 40% decrease in his business. He asked the governor when the order would be lifted, but the governor couldn't give him a timeline and said the last call order keeps young people from crowding bars late at night and slowing the spread of the virus. Fonda says that type of response leaves him with many questions unanswered.
I never did get a definitive answer from him, but I tried to explain to him that we aren't a college bar, we're not a college town, we're a service industry town, and we depend on the service industry people to make a living, and they don't get off till 10:30, 11. So that's the time I got to stop the call last call. So for the last 4 months now, we've been struggling because we're just biding time till he lifts this.
I asked Fonda how long he feels this business can survive under this order. Hear his response tonight at 11. Live in Myrtle Beach, I'm Jennifer Roberts, WNBF News.
Meanwhile, the number of positive coronavirus cases in our state continues to rise. The Department of Health and Environmental Control reporting 755 new cases today. 18 were in Horry County, 19 in Florence County, 4 were in Georgetown County. 737 of the more than 12,000 hospital beds in the state are being occupied by COVID-19 patients. Just over 200 of those patients are currently in ICU. Officials at Tidelands Health say the number of COVID-19 hospitalizations during the past month has spiked dramatically. Since October 1st, the number of COVID patients increased 385%. As of this morning, 34 patients are being hospitalized at Tidelands Waccamaw Community Hospital and Tidelands Georgetown Memorial Hospital. 9 of those patients are in the ICU, 3 are on ventilators. If you want to get tested for the coronavirus, you have 2 opportunities this week. The first DHEC-sponsored event will be at Coker College in Hartsville starting at 10 in the morning. The second at Stables Park in Pawleys Island. That one begins at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Wear a mask. It's something you've heard throughout this pandemic, but a new study is putting a number to the lives that could be saved if most Americans would simply do this preventative measure, according to this next story. Mandy Gaither explains in today's Health Minute.
We have clear scientific evidence they work, and they are our best defense.
It's one of the best ways to stop the spread of COVID-19.
Wear a mask.
But a new modeling study in the journal Nature Medicine estimates that if most Americans wore masks in public, more than 100,000 lives could be saved from COVID-19 between now and February. But researchers noted that as of late September, less than half of U.S. residents reported that they always wear a mask in public. If that trend remains through February and states continue with removing social distancing mandates, the study suggests the COVID-19 death toll across the U.S. could reach about 1 million deaths by the end of February. In another scenario, researchers say if states shut down when their daily death rate exceeds 8 deaths per 1 million people and mask wearing doesn't change, the forecasted death toll could reach more than 511,000 by the end of February. But if most Americans wear masks and states reimpose social distancing mandates, if death rates sharply rise, the death toll projection would be at its lowest. For today's Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Well, they finally got the clouds to clear out today. Temperatures managed some 70s along the Grand Strand. It was cooler inland, and we're starting to see that slow drop now down into the 60s. And kind of a cool start tomorrow morning. Not overly cold for this time of the year, but some 50s around, mainly well inland. We'll see temperatures right along the Grand Strand close to 60. With some sunnier skies in place, the temperatures quickly climbing through the day. We head through lunchtime, plenty of 70s around, and we'll get very close to 80 inland. And if we don't see 80 tomorrow, there will be some 80s around as we head through midweek. Then the changes arrive towards the weekend. We'll get some tropical moisture in here as Zeta makes landfall in the northern Gulf Coast later on this week. I'll break down those changes, including a pretty big drop in temperatures here in a few more minutes.
We are in the final week for absentee voting in the general election. Polling locations in Horry County are seeing record numbers of people casting ballots ahead of Election Day. At South Strand Recreation Center, lines of people were waiting to cast their ballots. At this location, the wait time to vote absentee about 2 hours. Poll workers say they average around 860 people a day. At the Carolina Forest Library, officials say they've had around 11,000 people cast those ballots.
Early on, back on October 5, when we commenced this process, we were barely breaking 500 a day. Friday, we broke 1,000, and we're on track to do that right on through until actually November 2.
In addition to the South Strand Rec Center and Carolina Forest Library, there are 2 other absentee voting locations in Horry County. They are the North Strand Recreation Center in Little River and the Registration and Elections Office in Conway. Just over a week now until the November general election. Horry County election officials are working to make sure everything is ready. This Friday, they'll test the scanner used to count absentee ballots. So far, more than 74,500 people in Horry County have already returned their absentee ballots. Across South Carolina, about 904,000 people have returned those absentee ballots. For the last few weeks, voters have wrapped around the Florence County Elections Office daily, but now some voters won't have to drive nearly as far to cast their ballots. WNBF News reporter Cameron Crowe is in Pamplico to explain what the county is doing to make it easier on voters who live outside the city of Florence.
Today, sheriff's deputies directed traffic in and out of the elections office. These long lines make it a challenge for Florence County voters who might live outside of the city of Florence. So beginning today, the Florence County Elections Office has opened up satellite early voting locations in Lake City, Timmonsville, Pamplico, and Johnsonville. Florence County Director of Elections David Alford says they began the satellite poll locations during the 2018 midterm elections, and the process went very well. Alford says it's much more convenient for Florence County residents who want to vote early but don't want to travel all the way to the elections office to cast their ballot. Charles Burt says if they didn't have these satellite locations, he wouldn't be able to vote.
I'm a paramedic, so we have odd hours and I'm working, and normally if they weren't doing something like this, I wouldn't be able to vote.
The satellite poll locations will be open from 8 in the morning to 5 in the evening throughout the remainder of the week. Reporting in Pamplico, I'm Cameron Crowe, WNBF News.
Happening now, the Senate is meeting to debate the nomination of Judge Amy Coney Barrett to the Supreme Court. A final confirmation vote is set to happen in less than 20 minutes. You're looking live now. An official with the White House says if Barrett's nomination is confirmed, she's expected to be sworn in after that vote. The U.S. Supreme Court is expected to take up cases soon on the Affordable Care Act, the nation's health care law, and Roe v. Wade, the landmark law allowing women to have access to abortions. We'll take you back here live to the nation's capital as soon as that vote is underway. And remember, WNBF News is your election day station. From the race to the White House to the races here in South Carolina, we have it all covered for you. Join us live on air the night of November 3rd. Keep up with the latest results on WNBF's news app, the WNBF News Facebook page, Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV. The Department of Justice awarding Horry County a grant that will allow them to focus on the most violent types of crimes. Catherine Phillips explains what that money will be used for. Coming up.
Now, the certified most accurate forecast from First Alert meteorologist Robert Whitehurst.
Well, the clouds have cleared out tonight and will keep sunny skies going for the next couple of days. It is on the cooler side tomorrow morning. 50s to right around 60 near sunrise, but quickly climbing through the day. Middle 70s up and down the Grand Strand. Farther inland you go, the warmer it is. We'll see some 80s around And more of those 80s in place here through midweek. Now down in the tropics, Zeta getting pretty close to making landfall near Cozumel, Cancun here over the next 12 hours or so as a hurricane. Winds now up to 80 miles per hour. Not expected to strengthen much from here. It'll make its way into the Gulf of Mexico, likely maintain strength, and then start to quickly weaken once it makes landfall. Landfall expected somewhere near New Orleans as we head into the pre-dawn hours of Thursday, with the remnants then racing off towards the northeast. Now those remnants are going to stay off to our west, and it's right along this track where there will be a band of heavy rain that sets up. At this point, it looks like that rain will set up to our west, so we're generally dry here until the cold front gets in here. That arrives late Thursday and will bring us a few downpours. But there's the storm. Notice the remnants starting to race off to our north late on Thursday. Then the cold front arrives. Doesn't have a lot of moisture left with it, but a couple showers in here late Thursday into Friday morning. That will quickly clear out through the day. It'll turn breezy in those northerly winds, ushering in the drop in temperatures and humidity, and that fall-like weekend that you'll really start to notice as we head into Saturday and Sunday. Before we get there, we'll start to warm up, especially in the afternoons. Just about everybody hitting 80 by Thursday. That cold front moves by. Temperatures start to drop through the day on Friday. You notice Saturday, down to 52 in the morning, and we'll see those morning time lows in the 40s inland both Saturday and Sunday. Afternoon highs only in the middle 60s for Saturday. So the fall-like weather certainly getting back in here. Here's that 7-day forecast, and once we drop, we'll stay on the cooler side through Sunday. We'll briefly hit 70 and then drop back into the 60s again for early next week. The best chance of rain over the next week will be with a cold front that arrives in here late Thursday. Get a few showers mainly overnight, quickly clearing through Friday and then setting up for that cooler fall-like weekend.
In your crime watch tonight, a man's being held with no bond after allegedly shooting and killing another man after an argument about a card game. Take a look at this man, Jimmy Johnson, charged with murder tonight. The Florence County Sheriff's Office says he got into an argument with a man during a card game on O'Hara Drive Saturday. That's what deputies say. He shot 34-year-old William Woodbury Jr. He's being held at the Florence County Detention Center. We've also learned one person's died after a shooting Sunday morning in Dillon County. Officials say it happened on Bunker Hill Road just after midnight yesterday. The name of the person who died has not been released, but we do know authorities are treating the case as a homicide. Other people were also injured during the shooting. We'll continue to update you as more information becomes available. Federal money is coming to the Myrtle Beach area to help prosecute gun crimes. WNBF News reporter Catherine Phillips spoke with the Horry County solicitor to learn more about why he requested the money and how he thinks it'll help make communities safer.
Horry County is one of 13 jurisdictions across the country just awarded a grant to help prosecute violent gun crimes on the federal instead of state level. 15th Circuit Solicitor Jimmy Richardson says a few months ago he learned about this grant and felt it could benefit the system of prosecutions they already have in place. According to U.S. Attorney Peter McCoy, over $265,000 will be set aside. Right now, Richardson says they only have 2 part-time prosecutors doing this job now. Richardson says his office will use this money to hire a full-time special prosecutor to focus on the most violent gun crimes in Horry County, allowing them to investigate further and seek out others involved in these violent crimes.
It's all over the place, so you have to go to that shooting, you have to figure out who did it, try to figure out why he did it and all of that stuff, but then that's just that one player off the street. The way a federal investigation goes is it's much more broad.
Richardson says they should have someone hired by the end of the year. Horry County was the only county in the state of South Carolina to be awarded this grant. Reporting in Conway, Catherine Phillips, WNBF News.
We're still awaiting the start of the confirmation vote for Supreme Court nominee Judge Amy Coney Barrett. It's expected to start around 7:25, so just about 7 minutes from now, and it's anticipated only one Republican will vote against Barrett, while not one Democrat is expected to support her. We're going to take you live to Washington, D.C. as soon as that vote takes place. Some lawmakers say there's still hope for a stimulus deal before November 3rd. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says she is optimistic about Congress passing a coronavirus relief package. She and Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin continue to hammer out some of the details of that relief plan. However, many still disagree on testing, tracing, and the overall cost of the bill.
We just have to follow the science. testing, tracing, treatment, mask wearing, ventilation, separation, and the rest. And that is what Vice President Biden has put forth. We have it in our bill.
And at the end of the day, it was the Democrats just last week who said that they weren't going to support a $500 billion deal. So they said no to some relief coming to America.
Pelosi and Meadows are both accusing each other of making last-minute adjustments to the relief package. Well, she is a student who's looking to help those around her in more ways than one. It is Monday. That means another edition of Student Spotlight. WMBF News Today anchor Audrey Bisk introduces you to her next at 7.
It's time for Student Spotlight. Her first language is Spanish. She was born in Conway, raised in Mexico, and then she moved back 3 years ago to start as a freshman at Conway High School. She's now a junior there. She was nominated for being attentive in class and asking questions. Right now, the spotlight is on Maria Davalos. This was her reaction when I told her she was chosen.
I was like, why me? And that made me happy.
Coming back to a foreign place wasn't easy for Maria Davalos.
It was so different. First, when I come here, I was like, no, I want to go back to Mexico because I don't know nothing about this. And the school, I was like just looking at the people, and I was so nervous, scary.
A few of her favorite things about attending Conway High School all have to do with those around her.
I can learn more English, and I can know other different person that have different ways of life. I like the class ESOL. Because Miss Sigmund is always helping me and then for her and learning more English.
And her newfound community.
All the students in that class speak Spanish, so I like to talk with them.
As for her future dreams,
I want to be a nurse. Sometimes the people are not good, they have depression, or they are passing with a situation. So that's why I want to be a psychologist, because I want to help the people.
Maria's proudest moment?
Now, because sometimes it's difficult in the school, but I don't give up. I'm trying. And I want to graduate from high school.
And I believe in Maria that she will graduate from Conway High School. She was our first Spanish-speaking ESOL student nomination for Student Spotlight, and it's clear her determination hasn't gone unnoticed. With your Student Spotlight, I'm Audrey Bisk, WMBF News.
And if you have a student who's making incredible strides in and outside of the classroom, reach out to Audrey. You can send her an email at abisk@WMBFnews.com. And if there's an outstanding teacher you want to show love to, you can do that as well. Head to WMBFnews.com, scroll down to the Classroom Champions link.
And warmer temperatures move in here the next couple of days, but a drop set to arrive later on this week. That first look forecast is here at 7:30.
Live look at the debate on the nomination of Judge Amy Coney Barrett. That's coming up. The Senate's set to hold a confirmation vote any minute now. We'll continue to follow that vote for you as it's happening. WMBF News at 7:30 starts in just 3 minutes.
Live, local, late breaking. This is WMBF News at 7:30.
Thanks for sticking with us at 7:30. I'm Eric Weisfeld, and right now we're awaiting Senate members to start the final vote for Judge Amy Coney Barrett's nomination to the Supreme Court. Set to start to begin any second now, really. Many believe Barrett, President Trump's third Supreme Court nominee, will bring the court to an even greater conservative majority. Only one Republican, Susan Collins of Maine, is expected to vote against Barrett. On the Democratic side, it's being reported not one member expressed support for the nomination. Throughout the half hour, we're going to keep you updated with a live look inside the Senate in a small box for you as that vote gets underway. City of North Myrtle Beach and Horry County teaming up for a project, and the goal is to keep people a little safer, especially while enjoying the outdoors. WMBF News reporter Zach Wilcox joins us live from Little River Neck Road in North Myrtle Beach. And Zach, the plan is to build a multi-purpose path.
Hey there, Eric. Good evening. Yeah, the path would be about 10 feet wide and run 2 miles up Little River Neck Road. And it's actually an extension of the path that I'm currently standing on. It's a little hard to see at night, but I am standing on a path, and that path currently dead ends on Little River Neck Road. So it'll extend that path. And extending this path is something that the Tidewater Plantation community has been pushing for really for years.
We bring up a myriad of issues that are important to all the neighbors along Little River Neck Road.
Tidewater Plantation Homeowners Association President Kathy Wise helps to organize regular meetings to discuss developments along Little River Neck Road. One topic that's constantly come up since 2017 is putting in a multi-purpose path.
Could ride all the way to the beach in safety. But also children all along Little River Neck Road. They play, they get on and off the buses. It'll provide a lot more safety for them. And even in emergencies, it'll help get around emergency vehicles and so forth.
The North Myrtle Beach City Council and Horry County Council agree with Kathy and have put a plan in action to build a multi-purpose path on Little River Neck Road between Hill Street and Harrelson Avenue. The question has always been funding. The project is estimated to cost $1.09 million.
We, of course, have completed the surveying and design on that over the past year, and we have recently gotten some funding from the state.
That funding came from the Grand Strand Area Transportation Study, an organization that makes decisions on which transportation plans deserve state funding. GSATS had committed the money to a project in Georgetown, but Georgetown County couldn't match the funding. Next on the list was the Little River Neck Road path.
We were really lucky that this happened and we could go forward with it, because I don't think it would have happened for some time.
The multi-purpose path will connect to the existing path on Hill Street. It'll be 10 feet wide and run north for 2 miles.
Once it's in, absolutely, I'll take my bike and ride to the beach.
North Myrtle Beach Planning Director Kevin Blayton says SCDOT actually has already approved the project. Now they're just waiting on permission from SCDOT to manage the project locally, and he's hoping to have construction underway by the early spring. In North Myrtle Beach, Zach Wilcox, WMBF News.
City of Myrtle Beach employees are working to make the area more appealing. Tomorrow, they'll plant 52 trees near and around the Myrtle Beach train depot and along Broadway Street. The indigenous trees include live oak, sable palmettos, wax myrtles, and magnolias, all beautiful trees. The improvement is thanks to a $9,400 grant from TD Bank.
It took a little while to clear the clouds out today, but we managed to clear them out, managed to get some 70s out there. Now starting that drop, a lot of the area now down into the 60s, even some 50s out into Darlington County. And that's where a lot of the area will be, is into the 50s for tomorrow morning. The radar's quiet. It will remain that way. It is dry for the next 48 hours or so and very little cloud cover at all as we head through tomorrow. As I mentioned, a slightly cool start to the morning. Temperatures in the 50s for most of the area, right around 60 here along the Grand Strand, but with those sunny skies, we will quickly climb. Unseasonably warm tomorrow afternoon, approaching 80 inland, middle 70s up and down the coast. There will be some 80s in here through midweek. Then the fall-like weather starts to make a return. I'll look at that drop that arrives a little bit later on this week here in a few more minutes.
New support for safe grants in South Carolina. The U.S. Department of Justice filing a motion to support Governor Henry McMaster's petition for the state Supreme Court to rehear the case. State Supreme Court ruled the grants unconstitutional earlier this month. Now the Department of Justice says coronavirus relief money from the federal government can be spent on private schools. The governor hopes to use $32 million of CARES Act money for one-time grants that would help families pay for private school tuition. Public school advocates say the governor should prioritize public education.
And if you're the chief executive of a state, public education should be number one in terms of your focus and what you're doing. Throughout this governor's time in office, it really has not been number one.
No word just yet if the state Supreme Court will take up that case again. Time is running out to apply for new grant programs made to help minority and small businesses in our state. Both, made available through the SC CARES Act, will award grants for businesses to get reimbursed for any services or revenue lost because of the pandemic. Applications must be received no later than November 1st. That's next Sunday. For information to see if your business qualifies and for a link to apply, head to our website, WMBFnews.com. Just look for this story under the Live Links tab. It is open enrollment time for Medicare. You have from now until December 7th to sign up. In tonight's Watching Your Wallet, Rachel DePompa talks to a financial expert to answer all of your questions and make sure you know the ins and the outs of what to expect.
Medicare is the federal health insurance program for people 65 or over, as well as some younger people with disabilities. Open enrollment is right now for anyone who missed it in the 3 months before or after their 65th birthday. This is also your chance to change your plan if you need to. If you're receiving Social Security benefits, when you turn 65, you will be enrolled automatically in Medicare Part A, which covers hospital costs, and Part B, which covers doctor visits. If you want Medicare Part D, which covers prescription drug costs, you'll need to enroll yourself. That is not automatic. If you're not receiving Social Security benefits, NerdWallet Medicare expert Liz Weston says you'll sign up through the Social Security Administration website.
The two big myths are that Medicare is free and that Medicare covers everything. So neither one is true. The part of Medicare that covers hospitalizations, Medicare Part A, is premium free for most people. So that's the thing when people say free, that's what they're usually talking about.
Part B, by the way, does have a monthly premium, on average about $145. And don't worry, every state has a state health insurance assistance program, which can help you with free advice. If you are lost and trying to navigate this, you can reach out to the website shiptacenter.org. With this Investigate TV Watching Your Wallet, I'm Rachel DePompa.
We do have more Decision 2020 coverage next for you at 7:30. Patrick Lloyd joins us with a preview of South Carolina's 7th congressional district race between Tom Rice and Melissa Watson. We continue to wait for the Senate to begin the confirmation vote for Judge Amy Coney Barrett. The vote was set to start around 7:25 tonight. We're taking a live look right now as Senator Mitch McConnell speaks. Again, we're going to take you out live to the nation's capital just as soon as that vote begins. This week, leading up to Election Day, we're working to make sure you're informed before you walk into the voting booth November 3rd. Today through Thursday, we're giving you a look at some of the local elections, speaking with candidates to hear why you should vote for them. WMBF's Patrick Lloyd starts us off today with a look at the race for South Carolina's 7th congressional district.
The race for District 7 includes Republican Congressman Tom Rice, who has now held that seat for almost 8 years, and his Democratic challenger, Melissa Watson. Let's start with the incumbent Tom Rice. The former chairman of Horry County Council has served in Congress since 2013. His main focus has always been creating jobs and strengthening the economy.
My top 3 priorities are jobs, jobs, jobs. And I want everybody, regardless of the color of their skin, regardless of their age or their sex or where they live, to have a shot at the American dream.
Rice says one of his proudest achievements is helping get the Dillon Inland Port up and running. He says it's important to help Marion, Marlborough, and Dillon counties, which are some of the poorest in the state. Another ongoing project of his while in office is I-73.
That is the single biggest thing we can do to make people's lives better in this district, not just on the coast, but for all of Horry County, Marion, Dillon, Marlborough, which it runs right through those, but also the surrounding counties.
Rice's Democratic opponent is Melissa Watson. She's a teacher, restaurant worker, and licensed realtor. She also served in the U.S. Army Reserves for 6 years. She says she wants to restore what she calls common sense, middle-class values. Environmental issues are near the top of her priority list.
I want to make sure that we have a permanent ban on offshore oil drilling and fracking. I want to make sure that our beaches stay pristine.
Watson also wants the minimum wage to increase and to expand Medicaid. She's also critical of the way Republicans have responded to the coronavirus pandemic.
We've got to stop playing politics with people's lives and just do what is right.
Two very different candidates, both vying for your vote.
I really feel like the problem is we have too many career politicians who are wrenching themselves and not looking out for working class people like me.
Don't judge us by what we say, judge us by what we've done. And the question I want to ask both is, who do you trust to restore the economy more quickly and give opportunity to your children?
For more information on both candidates, you can find links to their websites on our website, WMBFnews.com. Reporting in studio, Patrick Lloyd, WMBF News.
Still ahead, thousands of nurses are preparing to retire, leaving many medical centers left scrambling to fill new positions. How many jobs are up for grabs and how one state medical center is trying to fill them.
If you're a woman at increased risk for breast cancer because you have a family history of breast cancer like me, there are some things you can do that might help lower your chances of developing breast cancer or help find it early. Genetic testing for breast cancer risk, close observation to look for early signs of breast cancer, medicines to lower breast cancer risk, or preventive surgery are a few options. Your healthcare provider can help you determine your risk of breast cancer as well as which, if any, of these options might be right for you.
Breast Cancer Awareness Month on WMBF News is sponsored by Conway Medical Center.
Now the certified most accurate forecast from First Alert meteorologist Robert Whitehurst.
Warmer weather slowly moving back in this week. We're off to a cooler start tomorrow morning. A lot of 50s around with temperatures along the Grand Strand right around 60, but with mostly sunny skies. Going to quickly climb from there well to the upper 70s to near 80 through the afternoon. And we're close to 72 typically this time of the year, so well above average. And we'll keep that going here through midweek. The changes start to arrive later this week, closer to the weekend, and partially responsible is Zeta down here. Hurricane expected to make landfall near Cozumel and Cancun here through tonight as a Category 1 hurricane. It then lifts into the Gulf of Mexico with no real strengthening expected, but it will likely make landfall in Louisiana or close to Mississippi as a strong tropical storm or weak Category 1 hurricane. From there, it just rapidly accelerates off towards the northeast. Now, the core of that storm staying off to our west, there will be an area of heavy rain that sets up, but at this point, it looks like it misses our area. Notice all the light green in here. That's relatively light rain. Then you have this band of heavy rain that sets up from New Orleans all the way into the western portions, to the mountainous regions here of North Carolina. It could be a flooding concern there for us. Just a couple showers. And the reason this storm races off is there is a cold front heading our way. That's what's going to bring us some showers in here later this week. That cold front, that will likely arrive on Friday. There will be some showers around very late Thursday, early Friday morning, and then the temperatures start to drop through the day on Friday. So we go from 80 to the middle 70s to the 60s Saturday, hitting 70 barely on Sunday, right back down into the 60s again for early next week. So some fall-like weather coming back, and you'll notice it in the mornings as well with some 40s and 50s around by Saturday and Sunday. Here's your 7-day forecast. Rain chances primarily focused there again on Thursday and Friday. Those showers arriving late in the day Thursday, continuing through Friday morning, and then clearing through the day. A few more clouds late in the weekend. Otherwise, much cooler. Most of those morning time lows down into the lower 50s. Inland areas seeing some 80s, even some middle 80s around through Thursday, but going from 83 to 63 as we head through the weekend.
With Halloween right around the corner, the Florence Police Department's offering safety tips for trick-or-treaters. First, add reflective tape to all costumes so your child's visible to motorists. Create a safe trick-or-treating route with your child, and also set a time for when older children should be home. Never let your children enter a stranger's house, and also inspect all candy and treats before allowing those children to eat them. The American Red Cross announcing it's moving local operations to Florence. Those operations will be moved to a co-located building with the United Way of Florence County on West Palmetto Street. Organization selling its previous home on West Lucas Street as part of a strategic real estate plan to streamline operations. They say the goal is to reduce costs and to ensure the best use of donor dollars. Also tonight, a South Carolina medical center is looking to fill 60 open nursing positions by the end of the year. Trident Medical Center is trying to get ahead of projected worsening of a national nursing shortage. The United States Department of Health estimates during the next decade, South Carolina will have among the largest nursing shortage deficits with around 10,400 jobs unfilled.
I've been a nurse 43 years. And in my 43 years, I've seen some nursing crisis. Back in the 80s, I can tell you, we were pretty short of nurses then also. But now, more than ever, there's a lot of us who are getting ready to retire.
The group's hosting a hiring event tomorrow morning to try to fill those vacant spots. Also tonight, researchers say ultrasounds can show the impact the coronavirus is having on the heart. They found nearly 63% of patients who underwent echocardiograms had evidence of heart damage. 118 of them had the damage at the time they were admitted to the hospital. The rest developed heart injury during hospitalization. Those who had heart injury had more electrocardiographic abnormalities and higher inflammatory biomarkers. Meanwhile, researchers from the University of Alabama, Birmingham, suggesting that stay-at-home orders did help reduce the spread of COVID-19. They found stay-at-home orders were associated with a drop in the number of cases. In fact, they estimate that without these policies, case rates would have been over 200% higher and death rates would be 22% higher. For the 7th time this season, residents in Louisiana in path of another storm. Coming up, how leaders are preparing for Hurricane Zeta.
Ms. McSally, Mr. Menendez, Mr. Merkley, Mr. Moran, Ms. Markowski.
Happening right now, a historic vote on the
Murphy.
Senate floor as the future of the Supreme Court is decided. Today was the final chance for senators to express their thoughts on whether Amy Coney Barrett should replace the late Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. We are watching live right now the controversial decision to vote on the next justice with just 8 days before an election is already underway. The Republicans move forward with President Donald Trump's nomination despite objections from Democrats. Over the weekend, the Senate voted 51-48 to begin to bring the process to a vote by launching the final 30 hours of Senate debate. Two Republicans, Lisa Murkowski of Alaska and Susan Collins of Maine, voting against advancing the nominee, and all Democrats who voted were opposed. Then overnight, the Democrats held a protest against her nomination in an hours-long talkathon on the Senate floor. It's expected that not one Democrat will support her in tonight's vote. Of course, we'll see how that plays out as these votes are submitted now. If confirmed, Barrett would be the third Supreme Court justice seated under President Donald Trump. President Trump says he will swear Barrett in tonight at the White House if she is confirmed. That would make her ready to not only rule on a case that could decide the future of the Affordable Care Act, but also legal challenges involving the election itself. South Carolina's Senator Lindsey Graham, a big part of the confirmation process as he serves as the chair of the Senate Judiciary Committee. Graham, of course, up for re-election as well. The SCOTUS vote has been a part of his U.S. Senate campaign against Democratic challenger Jamie Harrison. So we have seen the impacts of the confirmation process on the state level as well. Again, you're watching live right now as senators vote for the last time on Judge Amy Coney Barrett and whether they believe she should become Justice Amy Coney Barrett. We want to take you back inside as that vote continues. We're carrying this live on Facebook and on our website as well.
Mr. Young. Senators voting in the affirmative: Alexander, Barrasso, Blackburn, Blunt, Bozeman, Braun, Burr, Capito, Cassidy, Cornyn.
We're running out of time at 7 o'clock, but you can continue listening to the vote on the WMBF News Facebook page, and we'll have much more tonight at 11 on Facebook and on our website as well. We'll see you at 11.